We're going live here. Michigan Football Report. Michigan loses 51-45, and frankly, one of the most head-scratching games I've ever seen by a Michigan football program in my life. I mean, you give up 51 points after the defensive performance that you put on all year long. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm at a loss for words, folks. But that's a lot because I've probably got a lot of words to say here. But Michigan is not going to go to the national championship game. I paid for 4 flights for some coworkers here, 4 nights hotel times 2 hotel rooms. Jack, take a guess what the hotel bill is there. $4,200 for 4 nights. Pretty steep. And we're gonna go out there and cover TCU playing the winner of this fucking Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia game, whatever. So, give me a one-word reaction to Michigan's 51-45 loss to TCU. Jack, why you gotta make the loss capitalized? It makes it hurt so much worse if it's capitalized.
Because it's bad.
Jack on the mic.
It's bad. We were hoodwinked, bamboozled, tricked.
Can't argue with you there, Jack. Not at all. Michigan loses. I think there's a lot of things to consider. We'll go over my 5 instant reactions, but I'll take your questions here. Make sure you guys want to get your question on the show. Hashtag Michigan, or you can use Super Chat, which sometimes we have a menu, but maybe it's Super Chat. Pay for my flight that I got to go see to watch TCU play in this freaking game. At least the good news here is it looks like Georgia sacked C.J. Stroud, Coldridge, early on in that game. We're going to take some questions here, kind of look at them. So I got Hugh Janus, nice name, says, fire Harbaugh, fire Jesse shit, fuck, Jesse Minter. Look, Michigan's defense absolutely fell apart in the second half. Absolutely fell apart. There were 2 times where Michigan cut it. I don't know, where they cut it to 10, they cut it to 6, whatever it was, 2 times in the second half. And instantly, it was a long 69-yard touchdown run, something like that. And then it was a drag route with a Mike Sanders still blitzing, drag route to Quentin Johnston. And G.J. Turner missed the tackle. He went gone for a touchdown. TCU matched Michigan play for play all night long, folks. And I'm at a loss for words here. I really am not a loss for words. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words in the sense that I don't know how to explain what I just saw. Michigan down 21-3 at one point in the first half. Got a 59-yard field goal from Jake Moody to cut it to 15 points at halftime. And then it seemed like all the momentum was right with Michigan in the second half. They kept cutting it down. 24 points for Michigan in the third quarter. 44 combined, though. I mean, TCU matched them point for point pretty much after that first possession when TCU had to punt the ball. Michigan got the score. And then nothing really happened great from then. I'm just going to riff off. You guys will bear with me for the next 60 seconds or so. Go ahead, Super Chat from Eastside Zach, my guy from Twitter. Appreciate you, Zach. Thank you very much. Zach, when I'm in a better mood, Jack, make sure we keep track of these. I got 2 new helmets that we were going to just have a palooza on tonight. I'm not going to spend a ton of time putting the helmets during the show, but Zach, you'll be on there. $10 gets you on the helmet. I'm going to auction one of those off at the first week of February. Not auction it off. Give it to the winner. Send it with a $1 bill. Play Quorum Football. Whatever. He says, we need a real OC and a real QB coach. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. I just don't know if the QB was the problem tonight. Looking back to my, appreciate the questions, Zach. Certainly really appreciate the $10 and hope you have a merry, happy new year and a great holiday season. And hope you're not, devastated. Let me just, Jack, can I have that knife? Can I have that Kamakoto knife? Just, I want to take my, not making jokes here. But let's just take a look at my live notes as we say, bring me a full screen or whenever you're Jack. Just put the comment one. Just comment. So not scoring on that first drive, I think messed up Michigan's mentality as a team. They started playing crazy ball. They started doing stupid stuff that they never do. Going 4 and 5 wide, doing triple reverses inside the 10-yard line. Kalel Mullings inside the 1-yard line. You fumble. I mean, there was just so many mental errors from this team all night. But I think that first drive messed up the team's mentality. They've scored on the first drive 11 of 13 games. Diamond Edwards came out, 53-yard play, but what do you end up with, Jack? I don't know if we have those stats available, but Diamond Edwards, 53 yards on the first offensive snap of the game. And let's take a look at the stats. So the rest of the game had 22 carries and 53 carry the one, 66 yards. Am I even doing the math there tonight? I think so, 66. So I'm going to take a drink of this Topo Chico. Keep commenting, keep it rolling here. Diamond Edwards, 119 yards, no touchdowns for him. But going back to my my running notes here. J.J. McCarthy, crazy scramble on that first drive, right? Gets Michigan back inside as he went back like the 20, 25-yard line, gets Michigan down to the 2. They go for it. Don't dislike the call. That was a decent call. But it's like a flip here, a turn here, they get Colston Loveland come around the outside. Was he going to pass the ball? What was he going to do? But he had no idea what to do with the ball. And you just can't put a freshman in that situation in this game. You don't give the ball to Diamond Edwards. You don't give the ball to J.J. McCarthy 2 times early on in the game. Michigan gets the ball inside the 2-yard line twice. 2 different times, and you get 0 points. You fall down to TCU 21-3 early on. That was one of the worst play calls, by the way. I'm just going back to my notes here. One of the worst play calls of all time I've ever seen from a Michigan team, or really any team, was the double reverse to the tight end. Right, that was just crazy. And that's what it was. J.J. McCarthy then follows that up with a pick six. Okay, pick six now. Michigan is scrambling. They're already down a touchdown. Then you come back. You get a great play, play fake by J.J. McCarthy to Diamond Edwards. You hit the pass long. Roman Wilson right at the goal line. It was a touchdown. Refs absolutely screwed Michigan. That was such a momentum changer. Michigan was right back in it. And then, his butt may have touched this shy of the goal line, but he still didn't catch the ball yet. So he was on the ground. You can catch the ball on the ground. He bobbled the ball back up, caught it in the end zone. That should have been a touchdown. That was it. The game was going as bad. I mean, the first quarter was as bad as I could imagine. You have an awesome run by the Don, 53 yards first play. Then the defense lost with the tempo. They went down. Michigan went down 14-0. Pick six, then a touchdown. The tempo from TCU. They stuck it to Michigan. They were running hurry up. They were catching Michigan out of position, catching Michigan running guys in, running guys off. Reminded me of the Michigan State game last year. So that's there. D. Winter, as I'm going through now into the second quarter, my running notes. D. Winter everywhere, made a ton of great plays. Rod Moore interception. Great play by Colston, Junior Colston on that one. Rod Moore kept Michigan in the game. So you're like, everything, the entire game, how many times, like, Michigan's out of it, we're back in. Michigan's out of it, we're back in. 10 different times, Jack? I don't even know what to say there. And then that was in the second quarter when it was the 51-yard pass from Roman Wilson. Terrible play review. And then Kalel Mullings fumbles the next play at the goal line. Why don't you give the ball to J.J. McCarthy? Snap the ball. Down. Sit high. Boom. I'm in the end zone. Or, hey, Diamond Edwards, dive into the pile. But Kalel Mullings is not an offensive player for 12 of the first 13 games this year, 12 of the first 14, and he fumbled the ball. Michigan defense, again, confused, continue rolling. Kendre Miller, right? TCU lost their best running back, their starting running back, guy who had 17 touchdowns this year, came back in the second half, but still, he was not a factor late on in the game, yet still, his backup, Amari DeMarcado, whatever they're calling him, 17 carries, 150, and that 69-yard touchdown run, that may have been the backbreaker. It was either late in the third or early in the fourth. I'm going to look back at it here and make sure we're all on the same page. What was that 69-yarder? I'm going to Command F. Oh, gosh, Command F this bad boy. Guys, we're just going live moments after the game ended, so bear with us on this one. TCU, I don't even know where that play is. TCU beats Michigan 51-45. TCU scores on, I've got here, a play after Max Duggan scrambles for a first down. TCU's touchdown on the next play. DJ Turner beat on a long crossing route underneath in the second quarter. Luke Schoonmaker then leaves with an injury. Roughing the passer saved Michigan on a drive when they were down 21-3. And then Michigan, just kind of going down the line of the end of the second quarter. Michigan false start in the entire offensive line towards the end of the second quarter. All of a sudden, we're featuring A.J. Henning today. I didn't understand that one, right? Passing the ball to him, running the ball to him in the red zone. That didn't make any sense. And I thought my notes going into halftime, Michigan has no idea how to play from behind. They're playing 5 wide receiver hero ball in the second quarter. J.J. fumbles in the second quarter, went out of bounds, and then 59-yard field goal from Jake Moody, school record, makes it a 2-possession game at halftime. You go into the second quarter. Actually, let me look my second half. My halftime notes is TCU's not playing that well, but Michigan has lost their identity. J.J. McCarthy, 10 of 16, 148, 1 interception at halftime. Diamond Edwards, 14 carries, 90 yards, and 1 catch for 8 yards. And Max Duggan, not played a great game. TCU did not play a good first half. They were still up 21-6, 7 of 16 for 89, a touchdown and an interception from Max Duggan, the Heisman runner-up in the first half. Right, Michigan was 60 of 64 this season inside the red zone scoring, either touchdown or field goal. 0 for 2 in the first half of this game. All right, so Michigan comes in the third quarter. They get a 3-and-out, then they get a field goal. Again, though, Michigan's in the red zone. You can't punch it in. You're going to Kalel Mullings. You're doing things that you didn't do all season long, and you have no offensive game plan. It wasn't until later in the third quarter that Michigan started to get creative at all on the run. Then you get a long pass by Quentin Johnson, 46 yards on TCU's next play. Michigan had cut the lead to 21-9, and then TCU, Quentin Johnson, 46 yards, and then Michigan, they scored on the next couple plays there. Michigan red zone offense stinks. At this point, middle of third quarter, kind of 10 minutes left in the third quarter, 13 points off turnovers by TCU. J.J. McCarthy, nice run on man defense in the third quarter, 39 yards, and then a touchdown where we kind of faked it outside, cut inside. God, that's when Michigan started feeling momentum, right? That is when Michigan started feeling momentum. I'll look back at that one, see what the score was there. I think that was Michigan when they scored 16 points there. So it was Diamond Edwards run, not even fail. No, that's not that right one. So I think I skipped over in my notes the J.J. McCarthy one. There it goes. But speaking of J.J. McCarthy, going back to the notes, 2 pick sixes. So if we want to talk about the difference in the game here, I thought JJ ended up playing a decent game, not a world-beating game, not a Joe Burrow-style game, not a national championship-winning game, but 2 pick sixes for JJ McCarthy. 2 pick sixes. There is 13 points because they missed the extra point on one of them. Absolutely uncharacteristic, uncalled for Michigan's sophomore quarterback. Now, if they were 343 yards, okay, cool. Michigan had another play in the third quarter with Ronnie Bell, same as Roman Wilson early on, down to the half-yard line. He stretched for it. Michigan luckily scored a touchdown, but again, when they scored that touchdown, which was kind of where I felt Michigan has a chance in this game, what do they do? Shotgun with Kalel Mullings. Now, he scored a touchdown, but why are you doing that as Ohio State scores a touchdown? So this is going to turn out to be a great night, I can already tell. And then Michigan fumbles on the last, there's a fumble on the last play of TCU. Last play of the third quarter, that's where I felt Michigan's got this game. They're going to come back and win this. TCU fumbles, Michigan recovers just after Michigan had scored like 3 straight touchdowns and 3 straight possessions, and that's what it was. Right after that, you get Roman Wilson reverse, helicopters in the end zone. Now Michigan's got this game, but it was not meant to be. Ronnie Bell gets a 2-point conversion. Then this is when the bad plays start happening. Michigan blitz off the left side on TCU's next possession. Max Duggan waited for Quentin Johnson to drag. Bad tackle by DJ Turner, and 76 yards later, TCU is back in the end zone, mostly yards after catch. We have a super chat, Jeremy Chugs. Thanks, Jeremy Chugs. Put that on the screen. He says, TD reversal will go down as the worst call ever. Chat Sports Zone, if you guys remember Chugs from the 2021 season, really appreciate that. Cody Mumford, Jack, let me finish the notes here, and then we'll go to Cody's here. We'll take his question. A lot of good plays for Michigan down the stretch. I'm going through my notes. Michigan, 5.7 points per game in the second half. TCU ended the game with, 30 points in that second half. Michael Barrett had a nice play. Third down, open field tackle. Michigan down 51-38 at that point. And then my last few notes here. I think Roman Wilson, nice touchdown there at the end. I think Michigan let the clock run out in that second to last possession or third last possession, which I thought was really weird, the one they scored the touchdown. But 2 things at the end here I'll notes. Crossing routes killed Michigan all day. Michigan's defense looked unprepared all day. This is one of the worst defensive performances in Michigan football history. You give up 51 points in maybe the biggest game, right? Michigan's never won a playoff game, been in it twice, two times in 9 years. Maybe the biggest game in school history, right? Just think about what it means. I know it's not like TCU is not the big Ohio State or like an Alabama, but you have a chance to go to the national championship game. And then DJ Turner with a great tackle at the end on third down, but Michigan gets the ball back. False start. Bad plays by JJ. Bad thing. And then I did think that was targeting, although when the play was over there, the last play of the game for Michigan, I just walked out of the office. I went to the bathroom. I'm like, there it is, game over. I just had to steam off myself. Came back, saw the review. I'm like, well, that's definitely targeting. It's 100% targeting. I don't think Michigan deserved necessarily to we're going to get this and it's, blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, I did think that was a terrible overturn or whatever. I mean, Jack, did they call it targeting the field? I don't even remember. I can't remember what happened. But they reviewed it, but they didn't give it to Michigan, so I'm not sure really what happened there. That is my running streaming notes, thoughts on this game. Keep chatting, guys. We'll start taking your questions. We had a $20 from Cody, so make sure you put Cody on the helmet. Cody, we'll get you on the helmet, although it's a little bittersweet here. You got 2 helmet stickers coming. I've got 2 new helmets that just arrived that need a Michigan football sticker and a bunch of stickers that we owed a few people from the show a couple days ago. He says, terrible execution. I'll read it here. From terrible execution, that TD being overturned screwed us, but Mullins should never fumble the ball. 100% agree with you. That screwed it, but it was so early on that Michigan had every chance to recover, but they didn't. Handing the ball and counting on Khalil Mullins was absolutely coaching malpractice by Michigan. That trick play was a joke. That trick play on the first drive was an absolute joke. It was absolutely stupid. It was 4th down. Run that play on 3rd down. So the consequences aren't catastrophic, which they were. We left a minimum 10 points in the field. JJ did well for the turnovers. Yeah, I mean, he did decent, although he did have another pick 6 in the second half. A little chapstick on there. I mean, and screaming at the TV for, 4 hours now. I'm doing a live show. Got a little chapstick. Now, I am going to, somebody gave me a Topo Chico, whatever. Ohio State up now 7-0. Georgia missed a field goal. Ohio State got the ball. Now they're, oh gosh. Like, if Ohio State wins the national championship by beating TCU, and guys, maybe I'm crazy, I'm confident, but like Jack, myself, business partner Brett here at Chat Sports, and Harrison, who's a TCU alum. Gosh, what a jerk. Harrison knows me big time. We're going to the game, and I was going to do live shows from Audio Ave at the CFP Saturday, do the whole media thing from Michigan, Sunday, Monday after the game, Tuesday morning, but that's all out the window anymore. But we still have a huge, we have got plane tickets, we've got a huge hotel bill, so I guess we're going, but nevertheless, that is what it is. Thank you so much to the super chats from Eastside Zach, Cody Mumford, and former producer of the show, Jeremy Beedling, a.k.a. Jeremy Chugs, a.k.a. Chugs. Keep it rolling here. Get the chats in. I'll take some questions. Use hashtag Michigan too if you guys want. I'll start reading out some questions. If anyone wants a shout-out, type me. I'll do that. This is just one of the worst losses I can remember because I was so confident, and Michigan had everything in front of them. They had a rematch against Ohio State, like a team they've just beat by 20-plus points 2 straight years, or a rematch, vengeance on their mind against the Georgia team that pushed them around in this same game on the same night a year ago now. I got Ohio State fans there. Guys, if you're a Michigan fan, just type Go Blue, please, because we got Ohio State fans in the comments now. Ohio State fans in the comments, those smart asses. And now they're jumping in the live chat here on the Michigan Football Report. So please, what's up, Jack? All right. Johnny's getting blocked. Blocking Johnny. Okay, so keep it rolling. Give me some Go Blues because we got the Ohio State fans. I guess I shouldn't have tweeted that out, which I just did a moment ago, the link to the show. But keep it rolling. We'll take questions. I'm going to give you my 5 instant reactions. If you guys want to be on the show, though, use hashtag Michigan, or you can super chat, and you will be on the show. I'm just going to put this on our Facebook page, too, so those people have. So give me a second, everybody. Live now on YouTube. Watch and react. Oh gosh. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. Not as like a person, like I'm a little whiny baby or anything like that. I'm hurt because I feel like this team is one of the great Michigan teams of my life. It's one of the most fun seasons I've ever had, and it hurts because I think that this team was a national championship team. I don't agree with this comment, though, by the way, from Matt Kepke. He says, I'd rather Ohio State win, F the SEC. I disagree with you. Georgia won last year. It made no impact on Michigan's program. Ohio State winning the national championship, as Michigan beats them 2 years in a row, I think would definitely be a big-time blow to the momentum Michigan has kind of regained over the past 2 years. Jim W. says, bottom line, TCU outplayed us and outcoached us. I say outcoached. I don't know if outplayed. They had to rely on 2 absolute blunders by Michigan inside the 2-yard line. So let's just say 14 points there. Let's even say 10. Cut the difference in half. 10 points there. And then you get 13 points there in the pick sixes. And so that's 23 points. And I'm not saying it's going to be the difference, but what happens there if you flip the script there? Michigan has, let's just say 10 more points, 55, and you take 13 away from TCU on 2 pick sixes. You can't even argue with that. They caught the ball. They ran in the end zone. Pick sixes. Then you got TCU down to 38. So Michigan wins 55-38 there in that scenario. So I don't agree with you. There would be 17-point Michigan win, not a 6-point loss. I was glad that they got the ball back. 50 seconds left. I'll tell you what, I was even kind of glad. I usually am down. I think Jim Harbaugh does a poor job in clock management, but I actually thought he did a good job with the clock management. He allowed for TCU, if they were to get the first down, for Michigan still to have a chance, and that's what he did, and Michigan did get a chance with one minute left. Don Edwards did not have his best game, right? He did not have a good game at all. Play calling from Jim W. or playing calling is a joke. Be more. I'm just not even taking your question. Be more. I'm putting you in timeout, pal. You're in timeout. In your face. Be more. I don't know if you're an Ohio State fan or a TCU fan or whatever you are. Detroit Lions talk with Opez. Joe's. We will pass the ball. I'm not sure. Joe's. I don't know what that says. So give me your one-word reactions, guys. We got a super chat coming from Bohan. You can toss that on the screen. Bohan, thank you so much. Michigan will. Will this game determine who comes back and who does not? Go Blue as always. I mean, I think Blake Corum should come back. If Blake Corum was in this game, Michigan wins it, right? What would Michigan have done if Blake Corum was in the game in the first quarter into the second quarter? They would have handed him the ball at the 2-yard line, at the 1-inch line. First and goal from the 5, first and goal from the 2, whatever it is. They would have been up 14-0 or up 14-3, 14-7, not down 21-3 with a minute left in the second quarter. So I think the offensive line, right? There's a lot of guys. Obviously Oluwatimi, but Carson Barnhart played kind of crappy today. Zach Zinter, did he do anything today? If those guys want to, have unfinished business, you've got your unfinished business right there. You lost to TCU, a team that has 3 4-stars, I think, on the entire roster. Not a single player who probably coming out of high school got a Michigan offer, and you just lost to them. You just get 51 points in a Rich Rod-style defense against this team. So thank you so much. I think some guys, as Georgia scores a touchdown, so it's now 7-7, 3 minutes left in the first quarter in that one. I think Michigan has unfinished business, but this is one of the most disappointing games from a coaching perspective, as Jim Harbaugh has now lost 6 games. Now, I'm going to address something here. I said a few days ago, Jim Harbaugh absolutely needs to overcome his awful performances as a coach in bowl games at Michigan. 5 straight bowl losses. And I saw people in the comments, "You're such an asshole, Yoda. You're a hater." Was I right or was I right? That was coaching malpractice most of the game by Jim Harbaugh. Absolutely, team was unprepared to play. As you've got a $10 super chat from Cody Mumford coming in. Thank you, Cody. Matthew Peterson. Is this our Matthew Peterson? Chat Sports only Matthew Peterson is what does that say? Is the Butler bet still on? Harrison didn't agree, so sorry, Harrison Graham. I was going to be his butler for a few days, I guess. We made a Butler bet, but he gave the old, yeah. Well, you know what? You can't cash in on the bet if you don't agree to the bet. So Butler bet not on, although Harrison, I guess I'm taking him to the national title game to watch TCU play the winner of this game. And there you go, Harrison. La-di-da, whatever. Next question. Cody Mumford says, I'm just going to read this on my screen, Jack. I'm squinting here. I am stressed out here. I wasn't done. How can you be run first all season and then in the playoffs try and throw in a Big 12 defense? This is a great question. This is a great comment. Cody, you have nailed it. Michigan, one of my notes, and I want to go back to them. Keep this question on screen here. One of my halftime notes was, as you say here, that's third quarter. I said, Michigan has lost their identity in this game. You're playing hero ball. You're going 4 wide, 5 wide, trick plays, A.J. Henning, reverses, trips, all this stuff. Kalel Mullings, where was that all year? The identity of this team was Donovan Edwards down the sideline. That was the identity. Or Blake Corum, touchdown. Blake Corum, touchdown. Blake Corum, touchdown. Obviously, Corum didn't play here. But you went to a pass-first offense after the first quarter of this game, and completely ignored the running game, what made Michigan strong, and played right into the hands of that 3-3-5 TCU defense. So absolutely nailed it, Cody Momfer. Really appreciate it. You, sir, need a place on this show. Hell, you want to co-host the show for me one time? You got better takes than I do half the time. James, love your show from Teddy Rich. St. James, love your show. I'm going to read it on screen. I'm blind here, Jack. I can't even look at this anymore because I've been squinting and holding my eyes. I've been doing this, guys, for 3 hours. I've been doing this. That's me. So now I can't even read a screen 6 feet away from my face with your super chat. So I'll look at the one right in front of me here. Love your show. I'm not upset, honestly. I know TCU will lose to Georgia. I'm rooting for TCU. I am rooting for TCU. I hope they win the national titles. TCU fans, look, I have no ill will against TCU. They played a great game. I'll finish reading the question. We have to focus on the national scene now. 2 years CFP loss. I disagree with your take. I think Michigan needs to come together. This can't be a situation where they put all their eggs in one basket and lost, and the program kind of falls apart. I think that happened after the 2018 season. I think the 2018 loss to Ohio State was so devastating to those players that they mailed it in the offseason. And what happened in 2019? You had a 4-loss year when you were the Big Ten champion, the Big Ten preseason favorites, and you end up getting run in your own house. Back-to-back years, run in your own house in 2019 by Justin Fields that year. So I hope this doesn't linger for 10, 12 months for Michigan. I hope they come in focused. But I'm going to root for TCU in the national championship game, 100%, because am I going to root for Ohio State? Root for Georgia win back-to-back national titles? No chance. So Michigan lost the national champion Georgia last year. Maybe they'll do it again this year, but I'm going to leave and go out to LA in 6 days and just watch. Gosh, guys, I literally said to my wife this morning, Jack, I got my on-field credential, right? On-field credential for pregame, postgame. Let you go on the field 5 minutes. I go, Ash, I go, 9 days. I go, this is me. I go, I'm going to be standing 10 feet from Harbaugh on the Michigan sideline, and I'm just going to videotape Michigan running out and winning the national title. That goes up in hell. Young Harbaugh, are we still doing it? Probably not.
Why? That's what I was going to ask. I'm like, what do we do now? Like, what do we do?
Young, you are young Sonny Dykes. You just need to gain about 30 pounds in the belly.
And get gray hair?
Yeah. Young Sonny. Yeah, what a tough one, guys. I don't know what to say here. Keep the questions going in here, Jack. Use hashtag Michigan, hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get your questions on the show, guys. We will stay live here. It's 8:49 on the East Coast, 7:49 here in Dallas, Texas. Keep the chats flowing. Keep the chats keep rolling. I'll take all your questions. Eastside Zach says, I'm so sick of unfinished business. Damn, that's a good quote. Yeah, that's a good comment there, Zach. It's a very good comment. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for always retweeting my stuff on Twitter. I am so sick of it too. This was Michigan's year. I mean, I can't tell you how I convinced myself. Jack, I mean, we've been talking about it for 4 months. Natty. I mean, we're still going to go because you get TCU and you kind of, maybe Michigan did what we did, Jack. They looked ahead to the national title game and they just didn't look at the team that was just a few inches in front of their face, and they lost.
The only difference is we're still going and they're not. So
yeah. The Jack and James show plus TCU grad. Let's do. I was gonna say let's do a Harrison now. It just makes no sense. We look like schmucks. So say go Blue to Harrison now. We're not gonna do that. Harrison, congrats to TCU, man. They won the game. I can't even talk about it. It's absolutely absurd. Thank you so much for the $5 $5 super chat, Eastside Zach. Another one from Matthew Peterson. Peterson's probably gonna try and expense these. Minus 30%. This should kill Harbaugh to the NFL, though, right? Maybe. I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe Harbaugh says, I've done all I can do, and not. But I think Michigan will be the number one team in the country going into next season. I have no doubt about that. I don't think that's a question. I think Ohio State will lose their quarterback, lose a bunch of different players here and there, a bunch of offensive linemen. Georgia will lose their quarterback, lose a few more players, and I think Michigan will be the number one team in the country next year. But it's such a hollow number one. I mean, guys, don't tell me that you haven't done this. If you're a Michigan fan, you have done this. You've envisioned Michigan. They beat TCU tonight 45-21, something like that. Okay, cool. And then you're like, okay, they're going to beat Georgia or Ohio State, national champions. Number one team, back-to-back next year is just going to be a dream. It's going to be like USC in 2005 when they didn't win the title either. But I've played the scenarios out so many times in my brain of Michigan is going to win the national title, kind of come out of nowhere, not expecting to do it, and then they'll be number one team in the country next year. Now, they're still going to be number one in the preseason polls, but this hurts. I'm bummed. I'm disappointed. and go blue. Guys, if you're watching this and you're a Michigan football fan and you want to, spread the wealth, go ahead and grab the link from here on YouTube, tweet it out, put it on Facebook, text it to a friend, have people join. It's 8:51. We'll stay live for probably about another 30 minutes or so. Sound good, Jack? And keep things rolling. Another super chat coming in from, if you're serious, I'm down. Cody, if you want to come on the show, send me follow me on Twitter and DM me, or I don't know how we get a hold of people here. Comments somewhere we can get a hold of you on a video, or how about this? Email me, James at Chat Sports, although I don't want the fake Codys to come on, so I'll have to confirm you somehow. Cody, do this. If you feel comfortable, Cody, put your email address just in the chat. Jack, see if we can grab it. I'll shoot you an email, Cody. We'll bring you on the show at some point as a special guest here in the next couple weeks. Probably not till after the national title game because our schedule is packed full, considering that we are going out there in 5-6 days, whatever it is. So put it there, or a Twitter handle, and I can DM you, Cody. Let me DM you, because if not, we've had people impersonate others in the past. So put an email, a Twitter, or an Instagram account, Cody, in the live chat, and we will contact you to get you on the show via Zoom here in the next, after the national title game, sometime around the 10th to 20th, 30th of January, middle, late of January. 500 people watching. A lot of Ohio State fans, TCU fans, certainly in here. So if you're a Michigan fan, go blue. I'm not giving up on this program, but I'm as bummed as I've been. I don't know. This is up there. I mean, it's not Appalachian State style loss, but I'm not sure if I've been more of a gut punch in my entire life. If you are not a TCU or Michigan fan, what a game that was. I mean, what a game. And it just was terrible for Michigan, but what a game as we got Watch NCAA TV Live and a block that guy. Okay, cool. $5 super chat coming in from a few people. So we got one from William Allen. Jack, you just grab a few beers and sit at home watching the rest of the bowl season. But we've got reservations.
What I meant, William, was like, we're going. So like, what's the content going to look like while we're out there? Like that's what I mean. It's gonna be fun either way. I've never been to a national championship game, so it's gonna be great. But kind of would have been nice to have old Michigan there.
But I'll tell you what, this is gonna be one of the weird international title games. If it's Ohio State TCU, I'd be like, yeah, two teams who couldn't even win their own conference. And if it's Georgia TCU, I think it's just like, well, it's gonna be 55-10. So what's this game even worth? So, oh no, I'd rather have Georgia play the game. I don't want Ohio State to have any success at all. So I'm rooting for them to lose in this game. King Dingaling coming in with a super chat. I've never been more upset to say 5,000. That was costing me to go. Giannetti, O-line and D-line were disappointing. They were, right? There were so many times, the defensive line in particular, the second half, I thought they got to Duggan, and it's just like, did they give up, or were they confused? There's a couple plays like Mozzie Smith was right there, and then he just like stopped. And he didn't make the tackle. He didn't even try and go for a hit. It's like, oh, he was trying to stop a screen pass that just didn't exist. So I'm not sure. I do appreciate that. I do think Blake returns now. Look, Blake Corum, DJ Turner. I don't think Mozzie Smith, but Mike Morris certainly. Zach Zinter, right? I think Zach Zinter, he owes, if he can get the money for the second-round pick, go. But the entire offensive line, they need to come back. They need to prove themselves. They just got manhandled and outworked by a 3-3-5 Big 12-style defense in TCU. Keep the questions rolling. I forgot to retweet it from the company account. $20 super chat. We're gonna roll here with some guy you are getting, Jack. Make sure we're keeping these bad boys on the thing. Some guy coming in. We appreciate you. You were already on the helmet, some guy, so you are now back on the helmet. I got to grab the helmet. I forgot to retweet this from like a company account, the live show, whatever. I'm going to do it. Some guy, I got two helmets. One's going to be filled up. I was going to do it, before the live show, but Michigan lost, so I just felt it was poor taste. But you are on the first one. I'm going to grab it here just so we know. We're going to get two more for you. Some guy, there you are right there on the first helmet. So really appreciate your supers. We got two more coming in for you. Michigan, I'm going to pull it up on my computer. Michigan will be ranked no higher than 5 in the polls this year. I disagree with that. Not because I think that Michigan is like the undisputed number one team or anything like that, but you just look at the history of the polls. Prior season success, who your coach is, who's the name of your school, who you got coming back. And so prior season success, number 2 team in the country back-to-back years. Okay, that's going to the playoff. That's Michigan. Who your coach is, Jim Harbaugh. All right, great. Quarterback coming back, J.J. McCarthy. big-time name. He's going to be a celebrity-style quarterback. I already see it next year. He's going to be a superstar in a lot of ways. He's a good-looking kid. He's well-spoken, all that stuff. Got a lot of guys coming back. I mean, obviously, your best 4 or 5 of your best 8 players right now are freshman and sophomore. Colson Loveland, who kind of had an iffy game tonight. Will Johnson, Diamond Edwards, J.J. McCarthy, etc. And then you might get guys that come back that we're not expecting. Mike Morris is one. Zach Zinter is one who I think maybe could. Maybe Ryan Hayes. I mean, he's like a 6-year, but he could come back potentially. And Michigan has won the Portal National Championship. They have 6 impact players out of, I think, the 7 Portal guys, but 6 started from tight end from Indiana. You got 3 Pac-12 starting offensive linemen. You got Coastal Carolina, Isaiah Stewart. You got starting linebacker from Nebraska. You got a lot of talent adding to this team, and you're not going to lose a ton. Outside of Oluwatimi, I think every major player on the offense and defense can come back because of the COVID rule. And I think you'll see a lot of that. So I do think Michigan will be number 1 in the polls. Guys, use Super Chat or hashtag Michigan. If you use hashtag Michigan, it goes to the top of producer Jack's queue. 13-0 Jack. The first time Michigan's been 13-0. Jack produced every show but what, 1 or 2 this year, post-game shows. I just think week. Well, I was out of town for the 1-2, so I think you did 11 out of 13, so this is 12 out of 14. So really appreciate Jack. Keep it rolling here in the chat, Jack. After this, let's go to my 5 takeaways. We'll do the post-game cut. Guys, the next segment here we're going to do, I will put on the channel here in about 45 minutes to an hour. It is our post-game instant reaction. I'll go through my 5 biggest takeaways on this game, on this team, and what it means for Michigan. It is the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I'm going to give you my 5 instant reactions, all coming up right now. Michigan loses 51-45 to TCU in one of the most unsettling, unexpected, and unbelievable games in the history of this Michigan football program. I equate it to my emotions like losing to Appalachian State or something like that, although not necessarily the upset magnitude, but I could not find myself a way in my brain that TCU could beat Michigan, and they probably didn't play as well as Michigan, honestly. They had 2 pick-6 touchdowns for 13 points, missed an extra point. Michigan had the ball inside the 2 twice and didn't get any points out of it. So there's a 27-point swing there that Michigan could have potentially won this game that they lost by 6. But let me know what your one-word reaction is to Michigan's 51-45 loss to TCU. The Horned Frogs, they do this little thing. I see Megan Payton on there. You see her with her dad at the game. I just wanted to tweet at her, yeah, Megan, whatever. But her brother goes to TCU. One-word reaction to this 51-45 loss. Let me know down in the comments, or if you're watching right after the show or after the game in the YouTube live show. I got Micro Mike on there, Lions Talk by Chat Sports, saying, "Cheeks, cheeks." That's a great Mike. That's absolutely apt. That is the absolute definition of what we just saw there from this Michigan football team. If you were on the live chat, sheesh, yikes. Terrible from Bill. BJH Blitz says typical. Fire Harbaugh. Next year we'll win it. We will do it from Zaire, I guess. But this one hurts a lot. So I like this one from Big Stevie. We're the Oklahoma of the North. Straight, soft, no arguments there. Let's take a look at the stats and the final scoreboard. Michigan loses 51-45. J.J. McCarthy, 20 of 34, 343, 2 touchdowns with 2 devastating interceptions. He went from 3 on the year to 2 more in this game, 5 in the season, 2 pick-6s. Diamond Edwards, 23 carries, 119. 53 of those, though, on the first carry of the game. And Ronnie Bell and Roman Wilson, though, both had over 100 yards. Touchdown for each from catching. And then Roman Wilson did have 1 rushing. Max Duggan didn't play a great game. 225, less than 50% passing. 2 touchdowns, also 2 picks. But Amari Demoncardo, whatever his name is, 150 in a backup role. And then Quentin Johnson, 163. All the things I said Michigan needed to do to win this game, they did. Most none of them. Jack, I don't know if we have it. I'm going to look at my screen. I want to kind of take a look at my 5 keys to the game from Michigan at some point. Do we have those from the other game? Oh, cool. If you have them, toss those up on the screen here in a moment. I'll tell you guys what my 5 keys to the game were coming into this game as Michigan loses 51-45. All right, now number 1 takeaway, though, is failures. Failures really were the storyline here today. Offense in the first half, defense in the second half, right? The offense was inside the 2-yard line. I think their first 3 drives, and in between there had a pick-6 to TCU. Went down 21-3 early, and then from there they got a field goal late in the game. But the offense really struggled in the first half. Defense absolutely fell apart in the second half, giving up 30 points to TCU. Now, Michigan scored 39 points themselves in the second half, but nevertheless, it was too little, too late. Let me know, though, guys. Just comment. Let me know your thoughts on this team, this season, but more importantly, this game. I think Michigan's football is in a good place, but, man, this is such a devastating loss. I think I just worked up so many things in my brain. I was excited about going this trip to LA, national title, beating Georgia, beating Ohio State again, and nothing that happens now, unless TCU wins the national championship, maybe I would feel like 2% okay, but nothing makes me feel better, and I think it's going to be a long off season when this should be a celebrated season, which it always will be because it's one of my favorite seasons of all time. But it is what it is. Let me know your comments. Jack, we have those 5 takeaways. Do we have them? Cool. Offensive game plan. So no, I'm talking about. Do we have the 5? I had my 5 going into the game. My things Michigan needs to do. Probably not. That's what I thought. Okay. No. Okay. Cool. Sorry. All good. I want to look at those. I've got them somewhere in here. I want to. I'm going to look at my preview as we are videoing this. So we are recording this live, but nevertheless, I'm going to pull up these bad boys. As we said, the offensive game plan sucked, but I'm going to read these to you guys. Bear with me for a second. I did this 3 weeks ago, and then also a couple days ago. I changed them a little bit, but these are my 5 takeaways, right? Hits to the max. Did Michigan get hits to the max on Max Duggan? No, they did not. Faster start. No, they did not. They were down 21-3, although they were starting fast. They didn't get done fast. So 0 for 2. Stop the run. More pass. I mean, do we have the stats for the 2 teams at all? Let's just throw those up there while I'm reading those. Michigan did not stop the run, and as such, TCU was able to pass more of the ball. Michigan had to blitz more as TCU rushes for 263 damn yards on Michigan. Absolutely unforgivable. Push Michigan's defense around all day long. Don't let TCU win the 50-50 deep balls. Whatever. They didn't really have many opportunities to do that, so that's a push. Score 30 points. They did, but I didn't expect the defense to give up 51. So my takeaways, again, hits the max, faster start, stop the run, more pass. Don't let TCU win 50-50 deep balls, score 30 points. Michigan really just did one of those. They won. One was a push, and then there were 3 that they absolutely failed on. And that's what it is, folks. Michigan loses to TCU 51-45. The offensive game plan today, it absolutely sucked. It did. Sucked is not a word I use lightly, but it absolutely sucked. They went away from their identity. They were pulling out plays they had absolutely no business running against a team like TCU, the old triple reverse, whatever the hell. I just can't comprehend what that first one was on 4th down. Why you run that play there? Why not run on 3rd down? It just was terrible. It was awful. Was it be the Philly special? Are they going to pass to J.J. McCarthy? Any way you sliced it, it was going to fail. You didn't go to Diamond Edwards. You didn't have Diamond Edwards kind of take over. The offensive line didn't get a push, and you just turned into Ohio State. You turned into a soft team on offense that just had to pass the ball and was in 3rd and long situations whenever they didn't complete a pass on 1st or 2nd down. Guys, if you're liking the show today, and if you like what we put out over the last 3-4 years, but certainly in this run up to the college football playoff semifinal against TCU. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we come up on 26,000 subscribers. It is the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports, youtube.com/Michigan TV. The defense in this game lost the momentum. In the 3rd quarter into the 4th quarter, and then late in the 4th quarter, Michigan had the opportunity to cut it to a 2-score game from, it was 41-22, I think it was at one point, Jack. Then Michigan scores 2 straight touchdowns, cuts it to with TCU in there in the middle of the time, gives them a touchdown. Then it's 48-38. And then TCU gets the ball down, and they get a field goal again. And they, multiple times, there's a long run from the running back, the backup. There's a long pass on the drag route on 3rd down from their star wide receiver, Quentin Johnson. The defense gave up the momentum. These stats are unforgivable. They really are. You give up 225 plus on passing, 225 plus, 263 to be specific, rushing. And despite TCU having 3 turnovers on the game, 2 interceptions by Max Duggan, 1 fumble at the end of the 3rd quarter, despite that, Michigan still gave up 51 points in the game. And as we talk about the running game here, I think that's just one of the biggest points here. Michigan was killed, murdered, destroyed, absolutely schlong-whacked across the face by the TCU running game, and they lost their guy in the first half. He tried to play in the second half. He wasn't there. His stats in particular, they were unforgivable. What's the guy's name? Amari DiMarcado. There you go. I'm trying to grab 17 carries for 150 and a touchdown. 69-yard backbreaker. Him and Quentin Johnson had the backbreakers when Michigan was cutting it close, and they just didn't get it done. To give up 260-plus yards against TCU in a Big Ten, in a college football playoff game is unforgivable. Jesse Minter, my man, you had a great year, but boy, this sucked. You guys were unprepared for the tempo, and then you started to play desperate. You started to blitz all the time. Mike Sanister off the side, DJ Turner off the side. Every time Michigan blitzed, for the most part, it seemed to lead to a long TCU play or a long TCU touchdown. I don't know who this Predator Kingdom guy is. He's talking. Is he calling me a dumbass Predator Kingdom? Better not be, but that is what it is, 54-45. Let me know your comments. Keep sounding off in the chat. I'm going to get in there and respond. I was going to come into the office and do some preview national title kind of content on Sunday, but I think I'll just sulk in my sorrows from home, film a video from my kitchen maybe, and then I'll respond to all your comments. So keep commenting. Michigan Football Report. Comment section, let me know your thoughts on this devastating 51-45 loss to TCU. The game was coaching malpractice. It really was. I'll go back to my notes here and just read off a few of the malpractice plays. Just the two that everyone will talk about forever. The triple reverse, blah, 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 to Colston Loveland, malpractice. Not putting the ball in J.J. McCarthy or Diamond Edwards' hand when the game was still, not even close to out of hand or anything like that early on, malpractice. Blitzing so much, and not sticking to what got you there, and allowing TCU to do. TCU did to Michigan what Michigan did to Ohio State, right? Think about that for a second. As we got into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, I thought, this is what it was like to be Ohio State the last 2 years. Absolutely just a beatdown, right? They just countered everything with a long touchdown, and then Michigan sold out. They sold out with the blitz, and TCU burned them over and over. It's very sad. I'm bummed. I'm sickened. I'm going to go to the national title game and see Ohio State's up 14-7 against Georgia now as we're filming this. Gosh, Jack, if that's what it is. Woo! From the outside perspective, it's probably a good game. It's back and forth. The college football playoff really always puts together at least one stinker, if not two, and Michigan and TCU put together an instant classic, at least for TCU and maybe all of college football. And right now it looks like Georgia and Ohio State will be a decent game, with Ohio State being up by a touchdown as we are filming this here at 9:09 Eastern on a Saturday. It's New Year's Eve in under 3 hours. Keep commenting, though. Let me know your thoughts on this game. I'll review. Let's go through them one more time, Jack. It's just I want to kind of review, and then we'll end asking people to subscribe to the channel. Michigan's failures in the first half, and offense in the first half, defense in the second half. That was my biggest failure, my biggest takeaway, my biggest instant reaction of the day. Offensive game plan sucked. It really did. It sucked when they were in a close game or like in the first half, maybe I should say. There were some cool plays. There were some nice plays. There was a rallying cry, and you felt like, wow, they scored on 4 or 5 possessions in the third quarter into the fourth, touchdowns. And one of those they scored a touchdown, but it was the other team, pick 6. But over in general, this was not a Michigan offensive game plan. Number 3, the defense lost the momentum. Michigan Michigan got all kinds of momentum back in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and both times I thought Michigan's about to win this game. What happens? The defense gives up long touchdown plays to TCU running and passing, and it is what it is from there. And then the TCU running game, 265 yards rushing, absolutely unforgivable by Michigan. 150 to their backup, Amari DiMarcado. Kendra Miller, the starter, right? 8 carries, 57 yards. Right, he barely played after got hurt early on in the first half. Max Duggan, 57 yards, his own, and he had 2 touchdowns. But as a team, 263 yards rushing for TCU and 3 rushing touchdowns. So Ohio State intercepts the pass. They're up 7 on Georgia, and they have the ball at the 30-yard line. If Ohio State plays TCU, wins the national title, whoa. Okay, and coaching malpractice. It is coaching malpractice that Michigan ran those plays inside the 2-yard line. Had early on, at one point in the third quarter, they had 4 possessions inside the 5. 1 turnover, 1 loss of downs, went for 4th down. Fumble by Kalel Mullings. Terrible triple reverse to Colston Loveland. Field goal, and then you finally got your touchdown. Absolutely coaching malpractice. This Michigan team was right there. They had the national title at their fingertips, and they absolutely blew it. Guys, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you subscribe. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, James Yoder. We're going to keep it rolling, though. We are not going to turn our backs on this program, though. We'll keep content rolling all off-season long. It just pains me to say off-season because Michigan should have won that game. And, hell, if they had came back and won the game down 18 points in the first half, man, what a story that would have been. But as such, they came up 6 points short. Keep commenting. Let me know your thoughts. Phil Batts, JJ was overwhelmed. I don't know about that. He made some plays out there. He had a running touchdown, had 3 passing touchdowns. I'm just going to take questions here. So if you guys want me to put your question on the screen, hashtag Michigan or use the Super Chat feature. Anybody who does this $10, we're not going to be jerks here. We'll keep putting you in the helmet. I've got 2 helmets to fill up. John Blaze and Wolverine Alaska, they're going to fill up this helmet themselves, I think, from last week's show. But I've got a whole nother one. So I want to give shout-outs, give some attribution as now the Michigan football season has ended. I will give some shout-outs. Jack, if we have it, I don't think it's updated, but do we have the 10 people from last week, the Super Chat leaders? Yeah, if you can, it's no big deal. I know it wasn't part of the show, but I'm going to read off some people who Super Chat that really made this championship run possible here with our live shows. Our 2 biggest guys here, Wolverine Alaska and John Blaze. You guys have absolutely come through. Shane Johnson, I'm going to send you the Don shirt, but hoping to see you in LA. Some guy saw a $20 super chat from him. He's been there. He had a super chat on November 29th coming out of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Blue Wolverine, been there for a lot. Bunch of super chats from him. Rick Harford, Dan Ferrer, Cool Moti, Preston Yoder. Not updated, but I just want to put this on screen. We didn't update it after last week's show because we weren't going to put, it's only 3 days ago. But John Blaze up to like 600, I think. Wolverine Alaska, Blue Wolverine, Cool Moti, Shane Johnson, Rick Harford, Dan Ferrer, John Crandall, Josiah Kiter, and Rock City are our top super chatters so far this year. I'm going to keep giving up some shout-outs as Jack can pull me back. I don't want to forget anybody, but Dan Fair, Cool Moti, Shane, Josh Sherwood. Appreciate you, Josh. Really do. Stephen Mers, definitely. We saw Eastside Zach on there as well. Mike Layton, big-time super chatter. Blue Wolverine again. Jeremy Clore. Cody Miller. This past couple days came through the bunch. Cody Momfer. We saw him with $30 today, right? 25, $30. Cody, Cool Moti again. Listen, John Blaze, Shane Johnson, Wolverine Alaska, Blue Wolverine. They're all over this thing. Clayton Amboy, Neva Bold, 11. Clayton, thank you so much for this past week's super chats. Again, more same people. Clayton, Rick Harfer, Cole, Usatalo, thank you so much for the supers. Iceman Comp 25. Cody Miller, I think I've got everybody. Resmoff. Travis Mitchell, forgot about him. And that is there. And then underneath, let's go on this one. John Crandall, $50 super chat 2 shows ago. So thank you so much to John. We appreciate everything you guys have done for the show. Super chat coming up from Cool Moti. Through thick and thin, bro. Cool Moti, you're going to get another 2 on here. I think I owe you a couple from last week's show that we haven't put on. I meant to have these ready, and I would have done it if Michigan would have been up by a couple touchdowns, but these showed up from Amazon, the 2 new hard hats, about an hour before kickoff, so I just didn't have time to prep for the show and everything to get all the supers that we owe, the stickers. But they'll be on. We'll be live this week. I'll be in LA starting on Saturday morning, late Friday night. So we'll probably do some shows from out there, despite Michigan not being in the national championship game. It is what it is. Use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get on the show. Let's take questions for about 5 more. Why don't we do a mailbag here, Jack?
Say something too, because we got a chat from Fireball. He makes us pay to ask questions.
No.
No, literally on the screen. If you use hashtag Michigan, we'll put you up on the show. So don't be a little guy like that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't.
People just love to hate, man.
Yeah,
People just love to hate.
I'm saying if you want to skip the line, because sometimes the questions can, the super chat, the chat can go a little crazy. Melinda says I'm sick with the loss, but if you want to guarantee, you can donate as much as $1 and you can be on the show. As Ohio State is now up 2 touchdowns. Jack. The only thing that could make this better is 2 things. Well, it's 2 things. Well, one is that Ohio State could be up 14 and they can lose because that would be like more devastating to them. The other thing is that they could lose to TCU. That would be the greatest thing of all time.
I think TCU would have a better shot against Ohio State.
Yeah, Jack, when you get a chance, grab me a cold one because these are probably too warm at this point. I need to drown away my sorrows with a beer. Just grab one for now. Mm. Jack says those beers are pretty chill. They are. I'm an ice cold kind of beer kind of guy. Educated Black Man says, I'm sick of Michigan losing in the big games. Embarrassing. It's so true, man. I mean, they finally go over the hump, beating Ohio State the last 2 years. But Yellow Blackbird, Harbaugh once again chokes in the big game. So true. Booby Gibson, arrogant fan base getting humbled. Yeah, shut up, Booby Gibson. You suck. Mountains are blue. I'm going to toss up in a Coors Light here from the Chat Sports fridge. If anyone wants to donate a $100 super chat, I will beer bong an entire beer just out of my sorrows. I'm supposed to go to a neighbor's New Year's Eve party, Jack. My wife texted me. I'm supposed to go there. I'm like, look, if Michigan loses, I'm not going forward. She's like, yes, you are. You're spending with your family. She spent me. I text her back. We're drinking. Come on over to the house when you're done with the show. I said, I just responded, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I am. I really am. She says, as a TCU fan there, that I'm not going for sure. That I'm definitely not going. Gosh. I'm going to say, turn on the show. I'm talking about you, woman. So there, let's take some questions here, Jack. We'll do a mailbag here in a moment. Maybe we'll take a few questions. So, guys, use hashtag Michigan. I want to take about 10, 15 questions that we'll put up on the channel either Sunday. Yeah, we'll put this up on the channel sometime on Sunday. So, you use hashtag Michigan, or Super Chat. If there's a couple of those questions, Jack, that we thought were good about Michigan, we can put a couple of supers on the cut if you want. That's totally fine. The ones that talk about, the different things that happen here during the game. So hashtag Michigan. I'll put it in the chat, guys. If you just do one of these, then comment. You can get your question on the show. That's how. Yeah, get some good comments. Ask about the program. Ask about this game. Ask about what it means to the future. I've taken a ton of notes that I went over. If you guys are watching this live, just rewind to the first 15 minutes of the show. I just rambled my notes the entire game. I don't know. There's a lot of haters in the comments. Let's get around to Go Blues if we can. I'm having to put people in timeouts left and right. I do think that there's something to be said that Michigan was not prepared today. There was not a prepared team that came into this game. I didn't think that Michigan was at their best. I don't think they had a game plan. I think they were looking ahead to Georgia. I'm not even going to lie. I think they were looking ahead to Georgia or looking ahead to Ohio State. And frankly, that's just unacceptable. It's pathetic. And I'm mad. I'm disappointed. Most of all, I'm sad because even though as professionally, we've got a video studio here at Chat Sports, got 30 shows. I do a Michigan football show daily. You take all that away, and I'm doing something else. I'm still feeling the same way you guys are. I'm loving this team, and I'm feeling that I'm wearing the shirt, and it is what it is. So that's just a big time bummer. Harbaugh to Indy from Fish Dave. Use hashtag Michigan, guys, and you will get on the show. But keep the Go Blues rolling. Phil Bat says, True James, they're not prepared. Absolutely. Not prepared at all. Ugh, they did look lost, Phil. So that is what it is. We're going to take your questions here for the last 12 minutes. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Going to do a mailbag that we'll put up on the channel on Sunday. All coming up right now. Michigan loses 51-45 to TCU in one of the most disappointing games that I can remember in the history of the program. It's up there for me, at least, with Appalachian State in 2007 and probably a few others, 2016 against Ohio State, et cetera, et cetera. They were so much more talented than TCU. The TCU coaching staff came in and ran rucksaw on Michigan. Michigan had awful playing calling on offense in the first half, terrible execution on defense in the second half, and as such, they got the ball back with 1 minute left and could not get it done. The Wolverines lose to TCU and will not make it to the national championship game. Final score 51-45. Coming in from Eastside Zach, some questions from our live shows. We're going to put this up on Sunday morning. He says, we need a real OC and a real QB coach. It's been a concern with this program in Jim Harbaugh's entire tenure, right? Jed Fish was the offensive coordinator, co-OC, and the QB coach in 2015. But since then, I think you could say that Michigan has really undercoached in the passing game, undercoached at the quarterback position. And J.J. McCarthy is the best pro-ready prospect that this program has had at quarterback since Chad Henne in 2004 through 7. I think J.J.'s higher than him. They're both 5 stars. But how about this? Maybe even back to Drew Henson, who would have been the first-round draft pick, decided to go play baseball back 98, 99, and 2000. So Eastside Zach, I agree with you, but I don't think anything's going to happen. I like Michigan's identity in offense, but they do need to be able to throw the ball. They do need to be able to throw pro-ready routes and concepts that, as of right now, are fairly amateur for this team. Cody Mumper also super chatting here. He says, terrible execution, but that TD should have been overturned, but it screwed us. Mullen should never fumble the ball. So let's just kind of identify those couple things. JJ did well for the turnovers. I'll give him that. JJ had 2 pick sixes. It didn't seem to hurt his mentality. He came out playing, running the ball, passing the ball. He could have played better. Ends up with 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rush. 2 touchdowns passing, right, Jack? Yeah. 2 passing, 2 turnovers, though. 2 pick sixes might have been the difference in the game. Also had a rushing touchdown. Also had a 2-point conversion. He put Michigan in the position to win down the stretch. The Wolverines scored 39 points in the second half. But it just wasn't enough. But as far as terrible execution on offense in the first half, absolutely terrible in the red zone, inside the 5-yard line. And it continued, right? Michigan's first 4 times in the red zone, they had the ball inside the 5-yard line 4 times. 1 touchdown, okay, in the second half, of course. 1 field goal, 1 turnover, fumble by Kalel Mullings. And, of course, that 4th down play, the triple, quadruple, reverse, Philly special, pass to JJ, whatever it was terrible. And Michigan lost momentum, and they never recovered from there. Matthew Peterson, Chat Sports Zone, says this should kill the Harbaugh to NFL, though writes probably should be. Harbaugh should have a lot of unfinished business here with the Michigan football program. If he were to leave now, man, I think that's a shot to his character if he were to leave after this loss, because he was a big part of why Michigan just did not come prepared. The game plan that he brought to this game, unacceptable, and Michigan loses. I think that's actually the biggest upset in college football playoff history. This is the biggest upset. A number 2 Michigan, who's soundly favored over TCU, a TCU team that was unranked going into the season, is now playing the national title game. Michigan is not. They're going home. One-word reaction to Michigan's 51-45 loss to TCU. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Mine is just sad. I am so sad for myself, selfishly. I'm sad for you, Jack. Young Harbaugh, we're going to dress him. We're going to figure out Harbaugh's game day uniform. We're going to go into the national title game at SoFi. Jack was going to be wearing head-to-toe, play-calling thing, headset, marker, whistle. But as of that, we're going to see TCU play Georgia or Ohio State. As you watch this Sunday morning, we filmed this late on Saturday while the Georgia-Ohio State game was still going on. I'm sad for the Michigan football fans all over the country. Sad my dad went out to the game to TCU, sitting second row. I saw him when he was on TV when the Boys to Men. He was sitting second row in the end zone to the left side of Boys to Men. Sad that he made that trip. Sad that Olu Atimi doesn't get to play a national title game. I'm sad for Jim Harbaugh that once again he comes up short. Well, selfishly, I'm sad for myself. I really am sad for myself. I pumped myself up so much that this would be a national title run, and we put a lot of effort into what's going to happen in LA next week. Nevertheless, it will not be Michigan in that game. Killer Panda says we need to schedule harder out-of-conference games. I don't think I agree with that. I don't think it really made much of a difference. Now, you can make the argument that Michigan didn't face a variety enough of offense and defense, and so they weren't prepared, but that's what the last 4 weeks were for. That's really what they were. Now, Jim Harbaugh in the NFL, he as a head coach beat Aaron Rodgers twice in the playoffs. One of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, beat him twice. He beat Drew Brees, top 10 quarterback of all time, beat him once the only time. He beat Cam Newton, an MVP of the NFL. He beat all these guys in the NFL playoffs. So I don't think that the non-conference schedule, underprepared Jim Harbaugh as a coach to prepare this team. I think that he was overlooking TCU. I really do think that. I don't think TCU played their A-plus game. I think TCU played a B game, right? Their quarterback threw less than 50%. But they got the ball running. They got the job done running the ball. They did a better job running the ball than Michigan. They played tougher than Michigan. They made the big plays against Michigan. They played against Michigan like Michigan played against Ohio State, and they got the job done. Cody Mumford again, he says, I wasn't done. How can you be run first all season in the playoffs? You throw the ball to a Big 12 defense. You played right into their hands. It's so true. If you guys watch my halftime show I put on Twitter, I said Michigan needs to stick to their identity in the second half. Even against Penn State, even against Ohio State, they went into those games, either down against Ohio State 3 points, or I think they were up against Penn State by 3. They scored late, whatever it was. But they dominated those games in the second half by sticking to what they were, which is run the ball, stick it to them. That was not what we saw against TCU. It just wasn't. And where was the second half defense? Michigan was giving up 6 points, less than 6 points per game in the second half this entire season. 13 games coming in today, 6 points per game. And looking at the box score here, I'm just going to kind of pull it up here and just shake my head here. Michigan gave up 30 points, right? 5.5 times their season average, 5 times their season average. in the second half, 30 points to TCU. So it was a track meet in the second half, and Michigan being down 18 points, couldn't let it be just a track meet. They had to have stops, and they just didn't get them when they needed them. 2 times in the second half, 2 times middle of third quarter on. Michigan was right there, about to get the momentum back. All they needed one more stop, and they had the game. They gave up long touchdowns and just didn't get the job done. Subscribe if you guys want more Michigan football content. I'm not going to turn my back on this program. I'm still going to put out content. We'll be putting out content, maybe not daily at this point, all right? Michigan losing today. I'm going to at least do 5 days a week going up until signing day in February for recruiting. And then after that, we'll stick to about 3 a week from February until August, until you get back to training camp, which should be the number 1 team in the country heading into the 2023 college football season. Make sure you guys subscribe. Send a link to a friend, youtube.com/MichiganTV. It'll help us out if you guys want more off-season content. More subscribers puts us with more production ability, more studio time, youtube.com/MichiganTV. Educated Black Man. He says, do you think Michigan needs to upgrade the wide receiver positions? Absolutely. But I don't think the wide receivers were the problem today. There were a couple plays that you could have said that, Michigan could have come up with something. But I think the tight ends kind of stunk. Colston Loveland kind of stunk tonight. But Ronnie Bell, right after halftime, he made an amazing catch, right? Stretched out, caught the ball, got Michigan. Only got a field goal, right, because they can't do anything inside the 10-yard line. That was right after halftime. Roman Wilson made a couple of big-time plays today. Ronnie Bell and Roman Wilson on the end around. One for a touchdown for Roman Wilson, one for a 2-point conversion for Ronnie Bell. So the wide receivers were not the problem today. The problem was the offensive line and the running game stunk. The offensive play calling in the 10-yard line stunk plus, right? Like A plus, stunk plus. And then the defense just was absolutely awful in the second half. The defensive play calls, the blitzing, the timing of the blitz, the man coverage, everything you did good against Ohio State, you did bad against TCU, and TCU's offense absolutely punked Michigan's defense in the second half. Coming in from Eli Jackson, how does Harbaugh prepare better for the bowl game in the future? Guys, if you want to get on the show here, hashtag Michigan or Super Chat. 6 straight postseason losses for Jim Harbaugh. 6 straight. And I was living in San Francisco during a little bit of the Harbaugh run there at the 49ers, and he lost 2 of his 3 NFC championship games in very similar fashion. They were the better team against the New York Giants in 2011. Right? What happened? They fumbled the ball on a punt return in the fourth quarter, and the Giants got the ball and scored. They were the better team against the Seahawks. They just could not get it done. Threw the ball to the end zone. Ill-timed pass against the best cornerback in the game. He intercepted it. Right? Colin Kaepernick intercepted by what's his name? The loudmouth Seahawks. Richard Sherman. Right? Very similar. Jim Harbaugh, I do think, has had a mental block for a lot of his coaching career. We just can't get over the hump. It takes him so many times to get over the hump. We saw it at Michigan. Couldn't beat a ranked team. Couldn't beat Ohio State. Couldn't win a big game on the road. Finally, over the last couple of seasons, he's killed all those narratives, right? He won his ranked game in 2018 on the road. He won a few big games at Nebraska and Wisconsin, etc. Then he started beating ranked teams consistently. And then he started beating Ohio State. Beat him last year. Beat him this year. What does it matter? Michigan's in the same position they were a year ago, although they're 13-1 instead of 12-2. They lose a semifinal on New Year's Eve. Bill Graves, the last question, Jack, for the cut here, probably? Or no, we still have more. Will affect how long we have. What effect will this have on recruiting? Probably not anything. Probably not much. As Ashley is calling, my wife, she knows I'm live on air, yet she calls. I don't know why you'd be calling right now since I'm live on air, but nevertheless, Bill Graves, what effect will this have on recruiting? Not too sure, Bill. Not really much, I don't think, in the near term, because Michigan really is going for Nicholas Harbor and not much else for the February recruiting class. But 2024, it probably means Michigan won't have a top 5 class, because the momentum of a national championship game, the momentum of potentially a national championship team is so much better than losing to TCU. So I bet they lose out in 2-3 guys that have been like, oh man, Michigan is the best. Maybe guys from Texas, right? Maybe guys from California that would have gone in person, kids, 17-year-old juniors in high school from LA that would have went out to the national title game, watched Michigan, but now they'll see TCU playing in that game. Let me know if you guys can give me a go blue in the comments. Where are we at timing-wise, Jack? We good? Cool. Cool, yeah, let's do that. We'll take another question or two here. Can I get a go blue in the comments? As I said, I'm not turning my back on this team. I'm not, changing fan bases by any means, but this is a very disappointing loss. I'm sure it's more it's no more disappointing it's more disappointing to Jim Harbaugh, the coaching staff, and the players than it is to us. I'm sure that's the case. Man, it's tough to be disappointed when you can't control the outcome, and that's the case for this team, for the fan base, And that's that. So Bohannon94 coming in. He says, we really miss Blake tonight. Go Blue. I think Blake Corum comes back. I've been saying for weeks now it's 60% that Blake Corum comes back. Week and a half or so I've been saying that. It was 50-50, now more. He's not going to be able to get to participate fully in the NFL Combine. He's not going to be able to fully participate in Pro Day and work out for teams. So his draft stock has fallen off a cliff because he had such a late season knee injury. I think he does come back. And I think guys like Zach Zinter should consider it. Do what's best for yourself, Zach. But if you're right there, maybe consider coming back and having some unfinished business, which I know some people are sick of. But that's Mike Morris. Mike Morris, come back. Ryan Hayes, maybe. Others, Carson Barnhart, et cetera, Michigan offensive linemen, they can come back. But I really think Michigan missed Blake Corum in the first quarter. 2 possessions inside the 2-yard line. They could have gave it to Blake Corum. He always gets in the end zone. Hassan Haskins last year. Blake Corum, clearly Michigan didn't think Donovan Edwards was that guy this year. And as such, they lose the game 51-45 to TCU. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Can I get to go blue in the comments, guys? Whew, I had a beer here. I'm just going to drink it now. TCU is trash. That makes you garbage, pal. Who's he talking about? A lot of TCU fans in the comments, doesn't seem like, Jack. 418 people watching live. A lot of trolls. It is what it is. If you guys want to be on the show, we'll take questions for another 5 minutes or so. Use hashtag Michigan Educated Black Man. If you guys want to shoot shout out, if you're a Michigan fan, if you want to shout out, type me in the comments. Educated Black Man with a Go Blue. Let's see. Rudy T. I like that one. Rudy T. Rudy Tomjanovich. Let's show that one. I agree with that. A lot of trolls in the comments. Go Blue. Keep your head on high from Aaron Handy. Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate it. You as well. Go Blue. Rob Clark. Yissakar LG says, go Michigan. Ohio State sucks. Thank you, Yissakar LG. You are one of our favorite members of the audience. Culture Creations. I've been waiting 30 years for this feeling. My wrath of Hornbar Fox. If you're waiting 30 years for this feeling, bro, you need to go to I don't know, a strip club or something like that, because 30 years for that feeling. I don't know. Go Blue coming in. Blake Atkins, I'll give a bunch of shout outs. Tim Young with the Go Blue. Shoe Guy says disappointed. Yeah, me too, man. So much. So much. Kenneth Seniuk, Green Arrow says Go Blue. Kenneth says Go Blue. I got to go blue from Scuba Photo 88,000. Cameron McKinney. That hurt from Cool Moti. Hashtag Michigan. Absolutely. Hale from Educated Black Man. Go Blue from Philip Smith. Terrell Mitchell. Yoda for head coach. I don't know, Jack. I don't know. I mean, I think we'd be there. I appreciate that. To Stuart Jagger. The announcers are moron. Those announcers sucked. I'll tell you what. I appreciate from Zero G. I appreciate Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson so much more, because Sean McDonough and the other guy, they stunk. They really did. I mean, Kirk Herbstreit and Fowler are good too. This was a B minus, C minus JV announcing staff tonight. Go Blue from Logan Zirkle. I think I missed one. William Bennett. Let's see. James going to get blacked out tonight. 100%. I am. Should I drive home? Probably. I don't even have that much to drink, but after I get home. All right. Edwards not existing at the first play of the game. That's pretty accurate, right? It's very accurate from Eric. Missed you. So keep typing in hashtag Michigan. We'll take questions for about 5. Look, it's 9:35. We're going to end the show here at 9:40 as Georgia ties it up 21-all. Stetson Bennett, the fourth, getting in the end zone on a 3-yard touchdown. 21-all. Georgia, Ohio State. Where are we at? Midway through the second quarter, is that right? Or where are we at, Jack? I'm not sure. Georgia fan. I'm a big Georgia fan tonight. C.J. Stroud putting on a winter jacket despite the fact that they are inside a dome there at the Peach Bowl, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Georgia's going to tie it up. Let's talk about my thoughts here. Michigan, absolutely disastrous inside the 2-yard line for the first 3 possessions. Inside there, pick 6. Disaster start. As bad as you can imagine, right? After Donovan Edwards' 53-yard run, disaster. Defense in the second half, giving up big play after 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 big play, after big play, after big play. Absolutely terrible. Offensive lineman, Florida Knox. Where was the offensive line? I agree. Where was the offensive line? They have a lot of explaining to do. They have a lot of revenge to hopefully get a year from now. Maybe we'll see. Gosh, this team was ripe for a damn national championship and they just lost it. Jimmy 5634 says, "Go Blue! I love Michigan." Thank you, Jimmy 5634. Appreciate you. Jay says, "JJ guaranteed they'll be back." Okay. I'm not watching the Harbaugh press conference, but they said that last year, and they did get back, but they didn't get any further than they did last year. Jesse Minter wasn't ready for primetime. That's the thing that I can say. The most important thing from this game, Jesse Minter not ready for primetime. I think that's exactly what it is. So, all right, guys. Pass rush was decent, but Duggan made clutch plays. He did. He made plays when he needed to. He either got the ball in the hands of the right guy, or a few times he scrambled, ended up with like 50-some yards rushing. Only guy that played perfect is Moody. Yeah, NFL kicker. Best kicker in Michigan football history, Jake Moody, 59-yard kick that really gave me a glimmer of hope going into halftime. Being down 15 points was all that we could have, being versus 18 points. KJ says Yoder finding some linebackers and running backs. Look, that's why Michigan brought in this kid from Ernest Hausman from Nebraska, right? They had to. But Michigan needs to go find a running back in the portal because if Blake Corum doesn't come back, we get a super chat from Stuart Jagger. Thank you so much, Stuart. Appreciate you, man. If you have a comment, they'll put it on the screen. Make another comment. Really appreciate $10 super chat. Stuart, you will soon be on the new helmet. We've got one right here. We've got 2 blank ones that I was going to fill up with a win, but I am too depressed to spend any time writing people's names on a helmet tonight, so we're going to do that in the post game, and we'll have it for our next live show coming up this week. We'll probably do a live show. What day was we working here? Thursday, Wednesday? We'll do a live show Wednesday or Thursday. Still to be determined. But then I'm going to be in LA on Friday night, so we'll do a live Michigan football report, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. We might just cancel the flights and just go out on Monday. I don't even know. What's the point of going 3 days early at this point? I don't know. It's stupid. But Stuart Jagger says, "Love you, Lord Yoder." Thanks so much, Stuart. Really appreciate it. I am a lord. I'm a lord of Scotland, Jack. Appreciate that. Cancel it. I mean, I want to go to the game because I've been to 3 national title games in the CFP area. I like going to them, but man, this one's gonna hurt. It is going to hurt being out there. Let me just bring it in for a sec, guys. I got sideline passes for an hour before the game. I'm gonna be on the field. I got sideline passes. I can go down the field with 5 minutes left in the game. I've done this once before of a national title game, Clemson, Alabama. Okay, I was running out. I was 4 feet from Dabo as they were jumping into each other's arms. I was right there. It's such a cool experience, and I was hoping to be there for Michigan to win the national title, but alas, it's not meant to be. Cole Cabana, the next Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I agree with that one. All right, guys. Going to do you think Michigan will title next year? They're going to be the favorites next year. Michigan will be the favorites to win the national title next season. Whether they can be there, I don't know, guys. I think the mental fortitude and mental toughness of this coaching staff and this team was in check. I appreciate that they didn't give up. I appreciate that they fought till the end. I think they got screwed on a bunch of different calls by the refs. I think that last targeting call screwed them. But they just did not execute. Carl Cordell, I'm going to show that one, Carl. He says, "I'm fucking sick to my stomach." Me too, pal. Me too. Jared Abro, I think Michigan can win the title. I think they're the favorite to win it next year. We'll see. All right, Jack, let's wrap things up. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, guys. We'll give you, I'll do 60 seconds. If anyone super chats in 60, we'll answer the super chat. If not, I'm going to go home and pop champagne, pour it over myself, and probably cry for an hour straight into my pillow. So anyone wants to super chat in 60 seconds. It was targeting Kenneth. Appreciate that. Chris Garofalo says, "Beautiful uniforms by Michigan. TCU sucks." Chris Garofalo, thank you so much. He says, "TCU sucks. Michigan's uniforms are beautiful." I do agree. Michigan's much better uniforms than TCU. Also, are you a Christian school or not, TCU? I'm going to root for you in the national title game, but your name's Texas Christian, but all of a sudden you're trying to say you're not Texas Christian anymore. Get an identity, okay? Get an identity. That is what it is. Go Blue, FOSU from Jeff Detweiler. Appreciate that. 10 cents left. Any super chats, we'll stick rolling. If not, that is the show. Go motherfucking Blue from Big Stevie. Stuart Jagger, thank you so much. Go Blue for the $10 super chats. Oren Smith, no excuses. terrible game. We're going to wrap it up here, guys. Appreciate everyone who watched the show, everyone's been with us this season. We're going to continue to do content. Michigan is going to play a football game in 8 months and 5 days from now. So enjoy your new year. Enjoy this Ohio State-Georgia game. It's 21-all with 4 minutes left in the first half. Go Blue from Tim Young, Carl Cordell, go Blue, Green Arrow, go Blue, Happy New Year. Michigan over-prepared maybe. As Ohio State gets fit on, what was that, 4th down, Jack? I can't tell. Go Blue from Florida Knox. Damn, really appreciate it. 8 months, 8 months. January through August, and then you get to play the first week of September, Carl. So that's how long we got to wait until Michigan gets a chance to play in a game again. CJ Mike 1024, Yoder, you are that dude. Good times rolling. Appreciate you, CJ Mike. Thanks so much for watching the show, guys. I'm bummed. I am depressed. I am sad. I think Michigan's got good times ahead of them. So I'm excited for 2023. I hope that this loss doesn't derail this Michigan football program. I hope the players put every ounce of effort into this offseason that they did this past one. I hope Jim Harbaugh puts every effort into overcoming, which for me is maybe the most devastating loss I've ever incurred as a Michigan football fan. Happy New Year, guys. That's all for tonight. Go Blue.